Mr. Anderson, so is the M1 the one? Now that I have been using the base version of the M1 MacBook Pro for a while, I think Apple has managed to pull off a technical achievement that I think has been a goal of Apple's since the introduction of the first iMac. Jobs had always wanted a computer where you didn't have to know about processor speed or RAM. Hence, that is why an iMac was always an iMac, no matter if it looked like a colored jelly bean, a desktop lamp, or a makeup mirror. Sure, there might have been variations, like choosing between a small one or a bigger one, but you never had to choose between the Sony PU5730 or the PU5820D, whatever those are. I just made them up. But processor choice and RAM were important considerations. iMacs were not impervious to OS and software updates, just like any computer, where processing speed, cores, and RAM unfortunately eventually become inadequate. Just look at the iMac Pro, a clear acknowledgement that the regular iMac was inadequate for professional use. Of course, the iMac Pro was an interim product to fill in the huge, gaping hole caused by the ridiculous elephantine gestation period of the new filterless Mac Pro. I have been monitoring the swap file on my base M1Mac, and it's clear that Apple has, if not solved, made huge progress in controlling the entire process, GPU, RAM, SSD pipeline. For those of you who do not know what a swap file is, it's a bit of your hard drive or SSD that has been stolen by the operating system to supplement the built-in RAM memory. Bits of your application's code and files are shuffled in and out of this swap space, especially when there isn't adequate RAM to keep the entire activity in RAM. But here is the thing. I did not experience a moment of slowdown. Unix was designed explicitly to be able to manage swap memory. It's no secret that macOS, iOS are based on a Unix kernel. I think this is a watershed moment for personal computer users interested in buying any computer. Certainly, it's been the case for Apple's iOS portfolio. Does anyone know how much RAM is in their iPad? Do they care? Do they ask? Has anyone complained about the performance of their iPad Pro? No. But here's one huge consumer benefit. Look at the reduced number of ridiculous choices available for any of the M1 Macs as compared to the traditional options. I didn't have to decipher the differences between i3 or i5 or i7 or i9, plus the mind-numbing gigahertz matrix. I cannot but think that this is a huge step forward, as buyers won't get a brain cramp sorting out the differences between a 3.2 gigahertz processor versus a 3.4 gigahertz processor, which for all intents and purposes is no performance upgrade Oh, but I'm certain it stressed out ignorant buyers as they tried to reconcile their computing needs and their pocketbook. Macs have had a reputation for having a long and useful life. Will this be the case with the M-Macs? My mother-in-law was royally pissed when her first-gen iPad, released in 2010, got left behind. She's 86 and just assumed it would be like her Inglis washer and dryer that lasted for 40 years. She didn't understand that even if obsolescence was not done on purpose, electronic devices have a limited life. Manufacturers have always had to balance what was essentially a bait-and-switch entry-level El Cheapo computer with the higher-priced models they wanted you to buy. Back in 2014, Apple actually sold a base 4GB Mac Mini, 1.4 GHz Intel Core i5 processor, and a 4 gig of shared 1600 megahertz of RAM. It was a worthless model that could not even use iMovie, even though Apple cruelly included it. It sold for $499. But there's more. Purchasers might have been somewhat encouraged by its advertised i5 processor, but no. This Mac Mini didn't have the 4-core desktop processor. It had the mobile i5 with only 2 cores and 4 threads. Intel has laughingly pulled this naming sleight of hand bullshit for years. But wait, there's more. The i7 model didn't have the expected i7 4-core 8 threads. It was also a 2-core 4-thread mobile part, just more megahertz. This worthless pile of crap would have set you back $999. The base M1Mac Mini is so not this. Is the M1 the one? Till next time, denizens. What is it, Wancho? You want to be disconnected from all those hoses and you want to get out of that cold, wet fluid? Maybe later. So long, denizens. Be safe.